The RIAA sent a lovely, which if you don't know what RIAA is, the RIAA is the Recording Industry Association of America. It's the company that looks out for, well, they're trying to say that they look out for the musicians and artists' best interest, but in reality, it's the record labels. who then, with the long arm of their wealth, fuck the artists in the ass as much as humanly possible. And now you're seeing people like Kanye try and buy back their masters to get the fuck out of that hot garbage. But the RIAA going toe-to-toe with Twitch on this one, obviously over the recent issues with DMCA takedowns that have been plaguing many people over the last couple of weeks. People that didn't apparently heed the warnings that were like back in June of this year, or whatever that happened, where Jeff and I had already deleted all of our shit and got everything in order. But yeah, it's come back around, and now the RIAA has put out this letter, both listing Emmett and listing Mr. Bezos at the top, in regards to continued issues that they have with this, specifically pointing out Twitch's recent tool, the soundtrack tool that Twitch put out that said, hey, we've got licensed music, and you can use it, and it's called the soundtrack tool. Unfortunately, it seems as far as the RIAA is concerned, they're not actually properly licensing the stuff that they have in this tool, this soundtrack tool. And so the open letter was partially about that, and partially about the fact that Twitch hasn't been swiftly enough taking action on other licensing issues. So, I'll go over my notes here. So Twitch received a not-so-nice letter from the RIAA and other music partners, so not just the RIAA, but a couple of others, accusing Twitch of not making use of sync, which is synchronization licensing, which is mostly used for video, meaning literally synchronizing audio to video for that purpose, and mechanical licenses, which is a mechanical license is audio only in that instance. For its soundtrack tool just recently released, as well as not responding to takedown notices quickly enough. This is partially spurred on by the post-COVID world on Twitch, where many music live streams have become more commonplace and popular. So we've seen a lot of actual artists doing sets on Twitch, for example, and not all of these artists actually technically own their own license to do their own music live like this, and so that is also part of this letter. They claim that Twitch appears to do nothing in response to the thousands of notices of music infringement that it has received, nor does it currently even acknowledge that it receives them, as it has done in the past. They're not wrong. To this point, as much as this is watching two people that nobody really likes, as far as content creators go and musicians go, nobody likes how either of these companies or bodies, legal bodies, are operating here. But they're not wrong up to this point. So Twitch responds with a kind of a not very in-depth response, but they basically respond with the statement that they are proud of their soundtrack tool. And they say that it is, in fact, fully licensed, and Twitch removes all DMCA noticed content as quickly as possible as legally required. And then, in a weird case of telephone tag via releases on publications, the RIAA CEO responded to that response. Apparently they couldn't just call each other and have this conversation. They had to have this conversation through, like, the fucking Ars Technica. He responded to that by saying, Twitch's shifting of its responsibilities, he said that, saying that it failed to answer anything that the letter actually proposed, and then followed up with this. I've got this quote here out of that response. Twitch's shifting of its responsibilities to artists who use the platform is certainly not the act of a company that genuinely wants to partner with creators. They're basically targeting here the fact that Twitch has been off-putting all of the legality, all of the the DMCA shit, all on creators, whether it's a musician on Twitch or if it's a streamer of other content on Twitch. Twitch has been shouldering all of that, or not shouldering all of it, but putting it on the shoulders of content creators and taking no action themselves.
True.
They're not wrong. They're really like, they're not, it's not even like they're half, you know, like sometimes you expect them to like use a half truth to make up like a much worse sounding scenario. They're not even doing that because Twitch is giving them the opportunity to just call them out for doing what they're doing, which is everything that they just listed. So Twitch hasn't responded yet again. I don't suspect they will. But that is a major issue. One, I find it hilarious to me that Twitch's own like solution to creators getting DMCA notices in their soundtrack tool is in itself being labeled by the very people that they're trying to avoid in the first place as not properly licensed. And then passing that on to creators who are using it, who are now still experiencing problems using the tool that's supposed to not cause any problems. And Twitch ultimately still, despite it being their own tool, putting all of the responsibility on the creator. I find it crazy. I can't even begin to fathom the situation. We discussed this last week, and I still don't have, you know, despite thinking about this more, especially with this RIAA letter, I don't have a reasonable thought in terms of why Twitch has been taking this stance and why they refuse to actually truly take up the mantle, other than they simply don't want to do the work. That's all I can come up with. They are within their legal rights of passing the blame, or not the blame, but passing the responsibility onto the creators. They can do that because it's in their user agreement. So when you're using Twitch and you agree to that, you agree to taking on the responsibility of the DMCA stuff. So like, from a technical standpoint, they're in the clear. But it's a really shitty stance to take and a really shitty solution that ironically is not even solving it for themselves. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I've already talked about it last week. I'm dumbfounded by the whole situation. You know, other platforms like YouTube have things in place so that people aren't getting kicked off their own platform and potentially losing their livelihoods. Now that hasn't happened on Twitch yet.
It's coming.
You know, it's coming. And I don't know who's going to be the first fallen streamer, but once one happens, I think reality is going to sink in for a lot of streamers. But it hasn't happened. Well, I shouldn't say it hasn't happened on YouTube. You just don't really hear about it because, you know, people do get strikes, but you know, yeah, that too. I don't know why Twitch does not pay engineers to come up with a solution to help out their creators so that creators feel safe, so that creators have an opportunity, not only when there's a claim on their channel, but potentially when there's one that doesn't warrant a proper claim, being able to fight or dispute an issue. It doesn't seem like Twitch is all that interested in doing exactly what RIAA said, and that is making it basically content friendly. I mean, Twitch used to be all about its creators and community. Now Twitch is all about profits and cutting corners. And listen, you're preaching to the choir here. I mean, I just debated with you about profits, and I have no problem with Twitch making money. I mean, now Twitch is rolling out some beta shit for celebrations, which is donating to a streamer.
50% cut on that. And
they take 50% of a donation. This is where Twitch is at. Twitch would rather roll out something that takes away from their content creator instead of facing this issue dead on, and if they are, making it publicly known that we're doing this. And it's very clear that it is not the case, judging from the fact that we just are now only being able to delete our clips on the back end. It's still basically impossible to do anything and have any type of customization for your VODs.
You can't even really see all of your clips still.
Yeah, and Twitch, exactly. And Twitch is more interested now in showing the numbers for your VODs so that you're actually seeing individual views on your VODs, including the live views on there. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's just another way for them to market, another way for them to package up to sponsors and say, listen, this is how much this person is getting. It's all, this has nothing, I'm telling you, this has very little to do with improving the streamer's experience on the site, and has almost everything to do with fattening the pockets of Amazon Twitch. I'm pretty soon gonna have a hard time calling Twitch. I'm pretty much gonna have to call them Amazon Twitch, like we call Blizzard Activision, because it isn't the same. It's not the same.